Hey y'all, good afternoon. I am going to give everyone a few minutes to hop on. I know we all have kids and life and stuff happening. So if you are catching the replay, you can use this time to just sort of set up your space. You will need a journal. Hey Jody, thanks for joining. I'm giving everyone a few moments to hop on. Hey Kimberly. Alrighty, so yeah, as everybody hops on, hey Kate, if you could just let me know in the comments how you're feeling, what you feel like you need in this moment, maybe this moment of life, this moment of the day. Just say hello. If you're watching the replay, please definitely leave a comment and let me know that you dropped in with the replay. Say hello in the comments there. We are going to start with a little grounding meditation. So I don't want to dive right in and then have the people who are needing a few minutes like miss out on that piece. So yeah, just let me know how y'all are doing. I know I had a few people on Instagram trying to get into the group last minute. So let me get them in and just checking in. Yep, there we go. One person hopping in. Oh no, and of course my computer is going to be crazy. Little prayer that the technology cooperates with us today. Alrighty, so we got that person added. Alrighty, Kate says, hey everyone, looking forward to chilling the fuck out, right? Yes! Kimberly says, hey, I'm feeling good, needing this mamahood connection. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. Again, for those of you who have hopped on before I said this, we're just giving people a few minutes to hop on and get themselves here, because I know a lot of people plan on being here at 3 for it live, and I know a lot of people plan on catching the replay. So yeah, you will need a journal. If you don't have a journal with you, then go do that. You're okay. You have a couple minutes. So don't panic and scurry, but just grab a journal or some paper or something to write with. Looks like we have another person trying to get in the last moments. Let me get them added. Alrighty. Whew. Yeah, so if you've already got your journal, let me know in the comments how you're doing, what you're needing right now, how you've been feeling. I know today there was a lot of grumpiness in my system today. The past couple of days I've been feeling very short. I've even been like short with my dogs. Like, they're dogs. Pretty sure they're not doing anything different than they normally do. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to having this time, this sisterhood space. There is really something incredible about circling up with other women. Yeah, and just having a shared experience. So it seems like everybody who's coming is here. I know my sister said she's coming and she was fixing her little one a snack. So, but she's familiar with the whole meditation thing. She can drop in and meet us when she's ready. So yeah, for those of you who don't know me, I am Lauren Venable. I am an energy healer, a single mom. I use primarily somatic meditation, somatic guided meditation, with a mixture of deeper energy work. The deeper energy work comes in more with my one-on-one clients, but we will get a little bit of, energy activation and clearing and realigning in the guided meditations today. But what I mean when I talk about somatic meditation is that it's really body based. My whole practice is built on the philosophy that if you have safety in the body, you can experience anything. You can get through anything, you can do anything, you can create anything if you can create a safe space for you in your body. You can create room for you to exist in your life, in your home. I know so many of you replied to my emails and to the questions here in the group saying that like you just cannot manage all of it right now, like that there is just way too much happening. And so I understand that. I hear you. It is a lot. It is so much to process. And so my intention is not to fix you, not to fix your life. Like every single one of us in here is requiring something drastically different. For some of us, it's going to be learning how to set boundaries with our children. For others, it's going to be learning how to relax and take your hands off of all the tasks, to let the housework go, to let the things go, and learn how to be with yourself. For some of you, it's going to be learning how to drop in and cultivate the energy that you need to do the things like the housework, because maybe for you, that's something that's going to make you feel good and better. And so just know that we're all arriving here in this space, undergoing this really crazy time together, needing very different things. But at the end of the day, there is one solution that will support every single woman here, no matter what she's experiencing, no matter what her external circumstances look like, and that is creating safety in the body. Being able to land at home with yourself. I mean, I kind of want to say can solve all your problems. But by that, I mean, can help you to shift the experience of your problems. Because the truth is, your life is not a problem to be solved. Um, I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to change you. I'm not here to tell you who to be or what to do. I am here to guide you home to yourself, because you are the only one who has these answers. You are the only one who knows what you want and what you need and how to get there. And my job is to hold a space that is wide enough and deep enough and safe enough and powerful enough for you to disengage from all the external chatter, from all of the mental loops that you've been diving into and out of, right? So that you can breathe and pause and come home to yourself and find your feet on the ground of your own life with your own soul, and to hear your own guidance. I know I hear from so many people that, like, I don't know what I need. I don't know what I want, or I don't know how to move forward. Like, I want blah, 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 but oh God, I just don't know, blah, blah, blah. And the truth is, I don't know is bullshit. And I say that because I love you. We do know. We know exactly what we need. We know exactly what we want. We know exactly what's required and necessary. But lifetimes, or a whole lifetime, years of conditioning has like traumatized us right out of that knowing. We don't feel like we're allowed to know what we want. We don't feel like we're allowed to exist or have needs or desires. And so, yeah, one of the ways we avoid knowing what we want and taking action and creating a life that feels good and existing in our own lives as more than just the caretaker of everyone else, the way we, shoot, I lost that thought. Oh, it's overwhelm. Overwhelm is what allows us to sort of check out and not have to like create the experience that we want for ourselves. It's a really great reason to not be present and to not be vulnerable and to not be at risk. And so it's not wrong. It's not bad, but it is keeping us from experiencing what we want, right? Your overwhelm, your stress, your anxiety, the million and one things you are managing and juggling is keeping you from experiencing what you want to feel and experiencing the life that you crave. And so, yeah, let's create some space for you to expand beyond that overwhelm and to maybe possibly tap into something different. So we will start with just a few grounding breaths together. That intro turned into not an intro, but whatever. For those of you who are newer here, you will learn that I am one big meandering path. I tend to go off on tangents. I usually circle back to where I started. Not always. If I ever get off on a tangent and you're really wanting me to complete the original thought, just bring me back. But I find because I am sensitive and I am in tune with like what's happening with the group and like all these different energies and all these different people needing different things, when I escape onto a little tangent, it's usually because there's something that needs to be said that I wouldn't have said otherwise, that maybe I didn't plan. So, yeah, I feel like from here we can just drop into the body and take a few deep breaths. So you can close your eyes And we'll breathe deeply in through the nose and then an audible sigh out through the mouth. So inhaling through your nose. And your sigh may sound more like, you know, just let yourself take up some space with your voice. Inhaling, filling up with your nose. Exhaling, dropping down into the body, down into this moment. Inhaling, filling up, expanding. Exhaling, letting it all go. Dropping in, arriving here in this space, this moment, letting the breath flow naturally in through the nose and out through the nose. Letting it be natural but full and slow and calm. Just finding a nourishing breath, a breath that feels good. That is your only job right now, is to find a comforting, yummy breath and to let it wrap you up like a soft blanket, infusing it with everything that you need. Wrapping it around your whole body. Letting it travel through you in waves. Just breathing. And just noticing where your center is. And it may not be the center of your physical body. For a lot of us, I'm feeling this center is almost like above and slightly forward, or above and kind of behind, like hiding for some of you. And just noticing, not like trying to yank it back to center, just waving hello to yourself. Like running in circles up around your head, or floating like a balloon just outside of your body, where you're close enough to keep tabs on everything, but you're not really here enough to be hurt or to be in any sort of actual danger of rejection or abandonment. It's all good. Just waving hello to whatever is coming forward. Where have you been? If not here, safely tucked into your body, then where have you been? For some of you, it's like getting your ass kicked out in the rain. It's okay too. And see if you can just invite that part of you that's been away to come closer. Just holding that invitation of like, hey, I see you. You look scared. You're tired. You look like you've been through some shit, and like, I see you. I'm so sorry. Man, life has been so hard lately. It really has. Oh, and can you just let the gravity of that, like, be real in your body? Life has been very hard. And not even just with what's going on right now with this pandemic, but life, like childhood was hard. Childhood was scary, huh? Navigating the world as a teenager, Like so much overwhelm, so much unknown, so much trying hard to fit in and figure out who to be. And in college, having to figure out your career, your relationship, like your whole adult life decided as a kid. I mean, you can see on and on. There have been so many traumatic transitions in life. It's in each and every single one of those, we moved a little further away from home. Backed away from participating in life and its pain and heaviness, its rejection. And at the same time have been craving and searching for home. Every time you were told that you aren't home, you aren't good, you aren't right, you aren't doing this good enough, you aren't doing this properly, you are not home. You're like, well, fuck, where is home? Where is good? Where is doing it right? What is the thing that I need to do to be safe, to be loved, to be understood, to be able to just stop trying so hard and just breathe? Tell me what I need to do. And I want you to really hear me when I say this. You are home. Your body, your desires, your natural expression. You are home and you are good enough. You are right, are enough. And it is safe for you to be you. Because I'm sure you have noticed, the moment you laid eyes on that part of you existing so far from home, you miss her. And she's missing you. And it's like all of this overwhelm and stress and perfectionism and anxiety and trying to get it right, that's keeping you apart from yourself. And that's not your doing. That's conditioning. That's old paradigms. That's like limiting beliefs in other people's shit, other people's beliefs about who you should be. And it's not yours. It's not yours to have to carry. It's not yours to have to participate in. And you can look at that part of you that's been so far away and tell her, I know there's trauma here. I know there's pain. And you're afraid of the monsters under your own bed. I get it. But I want you safe. I want you loved. I want you celebrated. I want you to come home. For some of you, that is music to her ears. She is like, thank the fucking heavens, I'm coming home. For some of you, she's like, I don't think so. And that's okay too. Can you just sit in your body with this awareness and breathe? And if some fragmented pieces of you feel like coming home, you can imagine them coming home and landing in your body. And if they're not ready to land in your body, then letting them sit nearby. And if this part of you, I know for some people, we're so traumatized, there's no trust. And if that's the case with your center, that's fine. You can just let it know, I see you now. You're not alone. You don't have to like me. You don't have to want to come close. You don't have to trust me. But I'm going to be here, and I see you, and I love you. And I'm here whenever you want, whenever you feel ready, or if you have something to share with me or talk to me about. I'm just going to be sitting here, breathing. And those of you who have had fragments return home, just zooming out. Everybody just zooming out and feeling yourself as a whole. And just noticing all the things that have been weighing heavy on you, that have been pressing in. Just waving to them, saying hello if you still feel them. And imagine your energetic field, yourself growing big enough to hold all of it. Seeing that clearly you are so much more than the shit that's stressing you out. Noticing the parts of you that are depleted from trying to please everyone, from trying to be perfect. And just seeing, what do you need? What do you need? Some of you, this question kind of freaks you out because you've never really been asked what you need. You've never really been allowed to need things, much less ask for them or be asked to know what they are. And that's okay. What do you need? And what will change if you have what you need? What will having your needs met do for you? Sorry, y'all. Maybe waving hello to the part of you that feels like you can't have what you need. And we're not here to try to fix anything or, you know, yeah, we're not here to fix something that's broken. We're just here to explore, to get information about what's happening in your system, what's happening in your body, and your energetic and emotional experiences, and to offer yourself some love and some tending. And so, what would feel good for you right now? If you want to just wrap up in a blanket, like this little energetic, cozy blanket. Do you want to rest in nature? Maybe you imagine and feel in your body what it would be like to be at the beach, in a meadow, the woods, a river. Maybe it would feel good to float in a lake, in the cosmos. Maybe it would feel good to be somewhere really sweet, where you're being taken care of and served like magical water and sweet honey. Find your ideal experience right now and invite it in your body. Imagine what it would feel like in your body. Letting yourself be filled up. Taking a few more moments here, receiving it, drinking it in fully. And then slowly coming back to this space, back to your body, this workshop, this moment, this human place that you are at. And using some soft blinks, you can open your eyes. How are you all feeling? I'm just seeing everyone's comments from earlier. It wasn't, they weren't showing up. Yeah, how is everybody feeling now? I'll give y'all a few minutes to just sort of like re-arrive here, right? um, it's so funny. I was like, let's drop in and ground for a second. It's like, no, let's take everything that was gonna be a talk for the mind and like have this experience in the body instead, which I love. It's like so much better. I feel like I can sit here and I can talk to your mind all day. And you'll leave here with some ahas. You'll have new information. You'll be like, oh my God, I learned this new thing. And then you would leave this call and go try to apply it to your life. And when it doesn't work, or you're like, wait, I don't really know how to do this thing actually, like I just know about it, then you would feel like you suck. Or like something must be wrong with you because like I understand this, it makes sense, I want it, why can't I do it? You know? feel like almost every client I've ever worked with has like known meditation is good, like daily meditation is supportive and nourishing, and they want to be someone who does that, or working out regularly. Y'all have spent like half my life trying to be someone who works out regularly because I know it's something I desire and that my body wants, but like could never do it because I didn't have the support to integrate it and implement it. Sorry, y'all. I need you to get out, please. You and I are having a talk after this. Mama boundaries, yay, y'all. But yeah, so then you go and you like try the things by yourself, and then you feel like shit about yourself because like, yeah, maybe it goes well for a few days or a couple of weeks, and you're like, yes, I got it, and then like you stop because life. And think that it's because you're not doing it right. But the truth is, it's because it was only like mind deep, right? And you didn't have support in integrating it and implementing it. And like that's a problem. I used to think that I just sucked at everything, that I had no self-control. I mean, I was even in counseling for years, and like we'd talk about stuff. I'd have all these great ahas, but I didn't have support in between counseling sessions. You know, I would go to counseling, have all these ahas about my relationship, and go home, and like my relationship would stay exactly the same. And I had no idea how to actually deal with it. And I'd wait another week and then be like, okay, like it was almost like everything becomes so fragmented when we try to do it alone. And we try to do so much alone as moms. That's why we're all so overwhelmed, because we're trying so hard to do life alone. And it's like once we drop into the body, right? Once we have that support, once we have that space to just rest and remember who we are and come home and connect with wholeness, it's like life gets a lot more manageable. So I would really love to hear like what came up for you in your body as you went through this process. What did you find that you need? What did you notice about the part of you that's been far from home? Did she come home? Does she not trust you? Like, it's all good and it's all welcome here. And I would be happy to, help you guys unravel whatever your experience was in the comments. And also, like, this is the stuff that I work with people in my group programs for, is how to take what you just experienced, the information you just got, and actually use it to change your life, instead of just thinking about it and trying really hard to do the things by yourself. Like, I know I need to meditate every day and I just can't seem to. Like, of course you can't. It's something brand new that's been a threat to your system. It's something that's going to return you to wholeness. Like, believe me when I say this, checking out of overwhelm is a threat to the way your whole system is wired right now to keep you safe, right? We have this way that we have to be overwhelmed all the time so that we don't actually take action towards the things we really want because we don't have the time or energy and we don't have to. And that keeps us safe from being different, from being abandoned or hurt the way we were as children or as teenagers or, adults even. We're trying so hard to avoid our trauma. And so staying overwhelmed really helps us to do that. So I'd invite you to grab your journal and just take a few minutes to like hash this out in your journal. Like, how has being overwhelmed kept you safe? How has it kept you living a safe life, a predictable life? And I'll just hold some space. If anybody wants to share, then, feel free to share in the chat box. How has overwhelm served you? Because the truth is, if it wasn't serving you in some way, if it wasn't keeping you safe in some way, you wouldn't be experiencing it. I know for me, like being broke was such a protection mechanism. So it's like, oh, if I'm like the broke single mom who's like a healer and like not really participating in real society, like then people aren't going to have the same expectations of me as they would have of the well-dressed mom who's like got her shit together. I felt like it gave me an excuse to not have to have the same responsibility. That was a shocker for me to find out one day when I realized that. I was like, holy shit, this changes everything. So yeah, take a few minutes and see, like, what is it a good reason to not have to do certain things? Does it keep you busy enough that you don't have to really connect with your partner? Because if you were to really drop in and vulnerably connect with your partner, then you might have to deal with the shit that's there. So it's easier to just be stressed all the time. For some people, some of my clients and friends, it's like if they're super stressed, then they feel less guilty about asking for help. It's like they have to be, and this was me too, I had to be so visibly overwhelmed that, like, of course I need to hire a babysitter. It was like the only way to justify the things that I wanted. I had to be drowning to, like, be worthy of help. I couldn't, like, look like I was doing okay on the outside and be asking for help. Like, that was not allowed in my system. That was one of the stories I was telling myself. And I'm going to check my notes because I don't want to leave anything out. And we are getting close to time. We've got about 15 more minutes. And yeah, so what is it like to be this overwhelmed all the time? How does it feel to be anxious and overwhelmed and constantly tracking yourself and how you stack up to everybody, to constantly be wondering if you're doing it right, to feel the constant stress of motherhood and being alive, just being an alive human, really. But it really comes up in motherhood. What is that like? You need to get out, please. You know, so I'll share an example for me today. We've been having a lot of freaking issues with boundaries, me and this one here. And I've been trying to figure it out. And I realized this morning, I was like, oh my God, this is just anxiety. This is just like a rabbit hole. This is a thought loop that is keeping me out of my body so that I can't really show up and hold the space that I want to hold today. Right? So I can't do the things because my story was, oh my God, I need to get him to eat so that he'll be happy and settled. And so he'll leave me the F alone so I can do my workshop. Because so then it was all this stress and pressure on getting him to eat. You're going to be in so much trouble. Because, like, if I could get him to eat, then, like, I wouldn't have to worry about him during the workshop, right? And then I'm getting, like, he's not eating, of course, and he only wants his Easter candy. And I find myself getting really stressed and worried because it's like, oh my God, no, like, he has to eat. Because otherwise, you know that feeling when you start to see what's going to happen throughout the day. And then I start getting more controlling, more demanding, more stressed and overwhelmed. And he starts being less cooperative. And I start getting ugly with him. And he starts getting ugly with me. And he's, like, devastated because mom's being a bitch. And I'm annoyed because he's being an asshole. And it's like I had to just disengage from it. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out the solution to the problem. And there is no solution to the problem. So the rabbit hole you've been in, chasing your tail, trying to find a solution to how do I manage everything right now? How do I do life right now? How do I, like, freaking show up for everyone and me? It's like, there is no right answer to that question. And the day I realized that, everything in life changed. Everything. And y'all, I've been doing healing work for 4 years, and I only realized that in the past year. This is new. Anytime I find myself, like, chasing an answer, and it's not necessarily in the old way, it's like with healing, right? I'm like, okay, well, this isn't anxiety because it's about emotional wellness and stuff, right? But no, it's anxiety in different clothes. It's just spiritual anxiety. And so I'm sitting here trying to get motherhood right and single motherhood right, business ownership right. How do I get this perfect? And when I was clearly not fucking nailing it, my world started to feel like it was pressing in on me. I started to feel stressed and overwhelmed and hot, like I just wanted to cry or scream. Um, and in those cases, yeah, I do recommend go cry and scream. Like, go find some space to feel your stuff. Feel it in front of your kids. Like, Gus saw me cry 3 or 4 times yesterday because I was really sad to be alone on my birthday. I was like really missing everybody. Plus, we were doing the same headbutting shit. And so I was stressed and overwhelmed. And it was a really grumpy day. It wasn't an amazing day, you know? And I just felt my stuff with him. But the thing is, like, in those moments, in those parenthood struggles, right? We feel like there's a right answer. And that if we just think about it hard enough, we'll figure it out and we can solve it. And then we can relax. If I can just find the right answer, if I can just find the solution, if I can just figure this thing out, let me keep thinking. If I think hard enough, I'll figure it out and then I'll feel better. But it's a fucking trap. And it's a way that we've been conditioned out of being whole, competent, creative, amazing human beings. You know, that's a whole other workshop, though. I'm going to try not to go down that hole. But in those moments, what we need is not a solution. We need ourselves. We need home in the body. We need to be able to, like, it's like having your face in the sink. And you're like looking, you're like, if I look hard enough, I'm gonna find the right piece, you know? And we're like looking and looking and looking. And it's like, no, you need to just pull your head up out of the water and take a breath. It's like, I'm gonna find the bubble in here somewhere. And it's like, no, I need to stand up and breathe. I need to disengage from that stress pattern. I need to disengage from the belief that this is something that needs to be fixed or something that I can get right. Like, whew, cut ties with it. Like, I need a second out of that. And usually in that moment, my heart softens for me, for us, and we reconnect. And so, like, on the way back in from walking our dogs earlier, like, he got really mad about something and started, like, hitting me and whining, and I was just done. So I was like, I'm out of here. And I walked ahead of him. And then I was feeling really guilty because I'm like, oh my God, giving my kid abandonment issues because, like, he was in a bad mood. So I left. So I started guilt tripping myself about that. Like, I feel like we never stop guilt tripping ourselves. We just do it with different information. And so then I started getting even more pissy and stressed and blah, blah, blah. And I'm walking up the stairs and finally I hear, God, life is just really hard right now. And I was like, yeah, life has been really hard. And I immediately softened and was no longer worried about, like, what kind of adult he's going to become if I let him slide after hitting me and don't, like, have a punishment for him or whatever. And instead I brought the dogs in and I waited at the door for him. And, like, he didn't want to hug, but I hugged him. I guess that's not having consent, but whatever. I hugged him and I apologized and I told him, I was like, I'm so sorry, buddy. Life has just been really hard. And Mama's just feeling frustrated. And I know it's been hard for you too. And we're just having a hard time and that's okay. I love you. And just hugged him and took some deep breaths together. And it was like instantly, I wasn't overwhelmed with all this stress about, like, how to fix my life, how to fix my kid, how to fix the way he eats, how to fix the way I parent, how to fix the way I approach him eating. It's like an endless rabbit hole of shit that we can go down and just chase and chase and chase and chase. And, like, so many of us stay there. That is our norm. And it's like when then we catch on to something else and we start circling about that thing. And then that takes us somewhere else. And we're constantly in this, like, mental tornado of stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And what it's doing is it's keeping us preoccupied and checked out of life. Because as children, we learned that being who we are is not good enough. It's wrong. It's bad. Or we learned that life is scary. You know, at certain points we learned that, like, oh, I have to protect myself because, like, I can't trust everybody. And so this is one of our protections that keeps us from having to fully participate in a life that can be fucking hard sometimes, a lot of the time. But you'll find freedom and safety in braving disconnecting from that protection pattern. And so I invite you, when you are feeling overwhelmed, when you feel yourself go into that anxiety spiral, to expand beyond it. Don't necessarily try to push it away or like change it or fix it or be like, oh, I'm in an anxiety spiral. Let me do blah, blah. Like, no, just, just take a breath. Come up for air. Okay. How am I? And what do I need? That is your tools. Whenever you find yourself anxious and spiraling, you come up for air, disengage from the shit, from the chasing your tail, stand upright, come back into the body, and check in on yourself. How am I? The answer for me this morning when I did that was like, I'm not great. I feel like I'm failing as a mom, and I'm tired, and I'm worried, and all these things. Like, okay, what do you need? I need you to stop fixing me. I was like, done. I can stop fixing you. I can just let you be what you are. Do you feel like you have permission, like that you could stop fixing yourself and that you would still be loved and accepted and safe? That's the trick. That's the tricky part. Like we're on board with this, right? We're like, yes, yes, yes. I need to start doing more of this in my life. Like I want this. I want to start being myself. I want to start disengaging from the overwhelm. And the thing is, like, this is a great place to start. And as soon as you decide, I am going to be a whole person. I am going to disengage from this shit, this conditioning. I'm going to stop doing this thing that some ancient part of me put in place to protect me. You better believe all of your fears are coming at you hard. You are going to have to face all of your shit. It is not as easy as just saying like, okay, I'm going to start living this way. I'm sorry. I love you. I don't want you to do that thing like earlier where like I sit here and I talk to your mind and you leave here with all this new information. And then like when it comes time to implement it or integrate it into your life, you're stuck feeling like, well, I fucked up. Like I suck. And so if this is something that you desire, like the integration piece is what I do. This is my work. I would love to have you join me in camp where we will do the integration work with all of this, with disengaging regularly, using daily practices that will be like required. I mean, you're not going to get in trouble if you don't do them, but you won't get the results you want either. So I guess they are essentially required by your soul. And you'll have the support. You'll have the person sitting here saying like, hey, I'm here for you. What do you need? How can I support you today? You'll have sisterhood to celebrate with. Because the thing is, when we start living this way, and what you need is to not go to that family event, which I know isn't a thing right now during quarantine, but when what you need is to have your husband take the kids outside so you can have the house to yourself for 30 minutes or an hour, you're going to need someone telling you, that's a good and safe thing for you to do. I'm so proud of you. I'm so glad you did that. Wow. Good for you. I'm so happy. Like, you're going to need that because you're going to feel like, oh shit, I'm not allowed to ask for this. And this is hard and this is weird. And, oh, I'm bad and selfish. Like, can you see, like, I feel like my whole body's just like, ugh, when I go into that. And you're not going to necessarily get that celebration from most of the people in your life because most of the people around us are still participating in the old conditioning, where a stressful, overwhelmed, burnout mom is a good one. You're going to need women around you who are on the same journey, who also don't want to walk around fucking exhausted and stressed out all day anymore. I was one of those. And I decided to do something about it 4 years ago, and I'm so fucking glad I did. I started with counseling, and that gave me the ahas, right? That helped me realize, like, okay, this is possible. I can have something different. And then I found energy work and was like, what? I just, like, had 6 months of therapy progress in an hour. It blew my mind, and that's what all of my clients say, too. They're like, okay, I maybe could have arrived at this place on my own, like had this realization, with hours and hours and hours of talking to somebody or reading all the books or trying to figure it out. But holy shit, we just did this in 15 minutes. And that's the thing about coming home to yourself. When you have someone who can guide you back to you, you can get so much progress so quickly. Yeah, shit can change really fast. And then it's a matter of showing up every day and doing the work, showing up brave in your life and doing things in the new way, which is a constant threat to the old way. So you're going to be getting this pushback every time you step up to be yourself. Life is going to get a little tighter on you. Life is going to push back. Your fears are going to pop up. And that's what I'm here for, is to get curious. Like, okay, what are these fears? I see you're not doing the practices. Like, let's talk about it. What's happening? Like, what's the fear here? And we can drop into your body and get straight to the answer and see, like, what does this part of you need? What would help you feel safe being you? And like, these are all great questions. You can ask yourself these all the time. You can journal about this. Like, this is still helpful shit. But it's the stepping up into your life and participating in it in a new way that is really fucking hard to do by yourself. And I see so many women trying to do everything by themselves, and it just kills me because we're not made to do this alone. We're not made to do this alone at all. And so it has become my passion, my whole purpose of existing, to bring women together so that when everyone sits there on that first call and starts talking about how, like, what their experience is, why they're here, what they want to get, or when their shadow and their shit is really strong and they come forward in their group and they're just like, I feel like I'm failing and I can't get anything right and I'm not doing the practices, or whatever the thing is, you will see yourself in them. And you can let them know that, hey, I'm a match to that. I'm experiencing the same thing, or I've been through the same thing. And suddenly that person who feels like they are just the only broken person in a world full of amazing people where everyone else but them is great, suddenly feels seen and safe and like, oh shit, yeah, maybe we are all going through this. I had someone reply to the email to tell me what she was experiencing, and I told her, I was like, I could read this out loud in the group and people would be like, where did you get my journal? And she's like, I don't know if this even makes sense. And it's like, of course this makes sense. This is what we're all coping with right now. Like, insecurity, constantly tracking our approval rating, trying to be good enough, feeling like other women are doing everything better than us. And when we can get together in a group and be real and drop all of our masks and shit and just be real with each other, it heals the sisterhood wound that we all have. And it heals the mother wound that we all have when you're able to drop in with yourself and soften towards yourself and love yourself and mother yourself. To find that scared little girl who's gotten so far away from home and tell her, oh my God, I see you. What do you need? I'm not here to fix you. I'm not here to tell you who to be or judge the way you want to do things. You want to take an art class? Like, fuck yeah, I'll go take an art class for you. And you'll start taking those actions that the deepest part of the most innocent, pure part of you wants, because you can't not once you see her and you see the innocence of that desire. When you're a mom and you're approaching it with your logical mind from life right here, and you're like, I want to take an art class, that could be fun. You think about going talk to your partner to ask, like, can I take an art class or whatever the thing is. Like, for me, it was like learning how to play the ukulele. Like, that felt so weird to be a 30-year-old woman going take ukulele classes at the music garden where the kids, like, there's kids stools everywhere. But the most innocent, alive, vibrant, creative, like, adorable part of me wanted to learn how to play the ukulele. So I did it. I got the courage to reach out and get the lessons and do the damn thing, because witnessing the part of me that truly wanted it, I would give her whatever she wants. And that's why we feel so weird asking for stuff, because we don't ask from a place of like whole body innocent wanting. We feel like we have to validate it or justify it, or it has to be logical. And so like then we don't ever ask for what we want or what we need, because it's like, oh, in our mind it doesn't make sense, or we feel like people are going to be mad. We have all of this past experience. But if you're able to let that desire just soak into your body and let yourself embody the part of you that wants stuff, that wants to not be stressed out all the time, that wants to be creative, or that wants to play or whatever, people are going to want to give you what you want. It's just how it goes, because it's coming from an innocent, pure place. And so I invite you to consider, like, what is it that you want? And, just be with that and all the weirdness around asking for it. It's fine. And I'm inviting you into what you want, because this is important. Once you disengage from the overwhelm, the part of you that's used to tracking for approval or tracking for what she needs to be doing at all times is suddenly like, what do I do? There's empty space. And that's when you're really likely to like clamp back up, right? And go back to what's familiar, because having open, empty space feels scary for all of us, especially at first, the first time we experience it. We want to fill it with other things. And so why not fill it with shit that you want? And why not let that desire, why not let being a loving, supportive mother to the innocent, creative inner child be the motivation to step outside of that overwhelm, to take your head out of the sink and stand up and get some air, because you want to see that part of you thrive. It's like at some point, being a good mom, a stressed out, burned out, but productive, taking on everything for the family like a good woman should, at some point, you have to choose between that or letting yourself thrive, letting yourself exist and be happy, letting that little girl inside of you that has been shut up and shamed and tucked away for so fucking long, it's either let her live or let her live. And you're going to have to choose, because you can't have both. You can't fit into the society's norm of a good mom as someone who takes on all the household tasks on her own, someone who takes on everybody's burdens, everybody's shit, and is constantly caretaking and tending. You cannot be her and be vibrant and alive and living the life that you desire. And what's actually really great is that when you are vibrant and alive and nourishing your real self and letting your real self live, dishes are not a big deal. They are very easy to do. Laundry is no longer the bane of your existence. Yeah, I will still let mine stack up for days. And then I'm like, shit, why did I let this get here? But then I'm like, if I just do it, it's really not a big deal. Laundry and dishes and everyone else's shit feels overwhelming, because that is the circle that you're in. But when you're just doing dishes as a human being, like a human mother who's alive in her house and is happy and fulfilled and like, isn't trying to breathe under the fucking water anymore, dishes are not a thing. So there is that. If you're like, but my house will go into chaos if I take my hands off of everything. No, it will not. It might for a little bit. It might lose your attention for a bit. Everyone will survive. Everyone will be fine. We're kind of taught to feel like the heroes of the family, right? I'm taking care of everyone here but myself. But if I let go, everyone's going to die and I'm responsible, right? Like I have to keep the ship afloat. And it's like, that's where our source of pride comes in. That's where we get our value. We were trained by society to believe that we're valuable for how much of our household burden we carry on our own shoulders. And once you decide to disengage from that and not have that as your source of value and self-worth and start sourcing it from within, like, oh, holy shit. It's so good. Your whole life will change. Your whole family experience will change. Like, yeah, some shit might change in a hard way. I got divorced a month after probably about 8 months after I started counseling. But that was my path. Like, that was part of my journey. My hope is that, like, I can keep more families from dissolving when it's possible for them to stay intact. But also, I have some women come to me and the thing is to dissolve the relationship. So it's like, it's not necessarily that like getting divorced is bad and staying together is good. But I can see so clearly how if I had had the programs I'm offering women now myself 7 years ago, even like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, like shit could have been different. Like there's a chance I wouldn't be a single mom right now. I wouldn't be doing this work though, I'm very happy to be doing this work because this is who I am. But I can just see how valuable this work is for helping families to find a new way of being together. And there is not a more important time than now for families to find a new way of being together because as you've likely already noticed, the old way is gone. Life as we knew it will not ever be the way it was again. It has changed. And we are all in the house together. We are all going through crisis together. And so there is no other time to dive in and become a whole person. Like, part of me was like, yes, when this happened. So it's like, so many moms have to wake up now. Because the shit that we were able to ignore before by being busy and being stressed and having 1,000,001 places to go, we can't do any of it anymore. We cannot avoid it. I was like, so many moms are going to be met with their shit right now. And I would love to see them face it. I would love to see them overcome it and become who they really are and experience the other side. Like, oh, the number of families that have the opportunity to wake up right now and experience something new. I wish there was a way to like transmit a feeling to you through the computer. It's like it tingles in my whole body. This is such an opportunity. And I hear so many people right now that are like, well, like now's not the time to work on myself. Now's not the time to dive into something for me because everybody's home and, you know, what about the economy? And like, I'm not going to have space for me. No, that's exactly why you need to be doing this. It's exactly why you need to be doing this. Because all of the external safety is gone. All of the external cushion is gone. Life is like skin close right now. I'm not supposed to be touching my face. I'm trying to do that less on live stream at least. If I can't do it in real life, at least not publicly. But yeah, we are skin to skin contact with the uncomfortable shit. And there is no better time than now to dive in and expand your capacity to cope with it and thrive in it and become yourself, to let it be the pressure and the friction that agitates all your shit enough that you can break out of it. You know, think about how much work it is for a flower to push itself out of the ground. And then I'm watching these buds, because we have these, I forget what they're called, but they're all over our apartment complex. And the buds are tiny and they're tight, tight, tight. And they don't just like open up overnight. They're like a little, and then they slowly get bigger, but it's like it has to get, and I'm like, when is it going to open? And I can see it getting tight. It has to get so uncomfortable. And then it's like, okay, a little relief. And then it's like eventually the whole thing opens up. And then each little bud up into its own bud, but it takes forever. I've been watching these flowers for weeks and I'm like, when are you going to be in full bloom, damn it? And I'm like, oh, this is me and all of us right now. It's hard work. You have to actively press back against the pressures of life, against all the reasons not to take care of you, all the fears about why you're not allowed to be whole. And I just invite you to consider right now, like, what does your life look like next year if you don't learn how to be yourself? If you keep living with this level of stress and overwhelm and feeling like there is no room for you, what does the rest of this quarantine look like? I mean, I know we don't know how long this is going to be. Say it's a couple weeks, a couple months. Like, what does that look like if you don't find a way to create some space for you now? What does life look like in 5, 10, 50 years? What's going to happen to your body as you age with this level of stress pressing on you? Is your body going to be able to operate optimally? Are you going to be able to experience ease in your body? They say the divorce rate is like way up. There's like been a surge of divorces in China since the quarantine lifted, or I don't know, don't quote me on that part of the facts, but yeah, because of everyone's stuck together and we're all facing our shit. And yeah, it's a lot. But what's gonna happen to your life if you don't learn how to cope with this overwhelm and to experience a different way of mothering? Because there is a different way, and it's safe, and it's fucking good. You can fuss at your kid on a live stream in front of 20 people and like still know that you're lovable. And your kid can be happily playing in the living room because he knows that, like, yeah, he's pissing you off, but you still love him. Like, he's fine now. And if he wasn't fine, then I could hop off of here and I could go hug and repair. It's not about getting it right. It's not about being perfect. It's about reconnecting to your own sense of gravity, to your own source, your own depths, and being willing to live life from there. And that is where you really need the support. And so I will tell you about camp, because those of you who are like, fuck yes, I need this, and now is not convenient. There is nothing solid to stand on outside of me, but I am fucking ready to do whatever it takes to stop being such a stressed out, overwhelmed, burned out, miserable ghost of a human being. I am not willing anymore to this center of me live way the fuck over there, alone, neglected, abandoned. If you are not willing to do that anymore, and you are willing to do whatever it takes to do the work when it's hard, to show up for yourself every single day, then camp is for you. Camp is for the women who are fucking ready. You have had enough. You were that bud that is like, fuck this! I'm opening, damn it! Because I can't live like this anymore. It took me a long time to get there. I was miserable for a really long time in my marriage before finally, I even tried 3 different counselors and never like actually like booked my session with any of them, like did phone tag. And then I found the right one, and I just knew. And her name was in a book. Like, I just knew there's something about her. Like in a directory, I didn't hear her talk. I didn't see her face. I just knew in my bones something about her felt like a good fit. I called her. I actually got on the phone with her. I actually went to my first session, and she changed my fucking life. Brought me back home to me, and then I started guiding myself, and I found energy work, and I have had more progress in the past like 4 years than a lifetime of this. Like, I have a degree in psychology. I read self-help books when I was like 16. I started doing yoga when I was like 19. I became a yoga teacher at 21. Like, I've been doing this shit for 13 years now, 12 years now. Like, I just turned 31 yesterday. So do the math. I don't want to do math. And nothing has given me the actual sustainable, like, hasn't given me what I actually wanted the way energy healing has. And that's what I love about camp, is we get the stuff like this where it's like food for the mind. We are retraining the mind and challenging old beliefs and learning about new ways, because you can't experience something else if you don't know that it exists. Like, you need someone to tell you, like, hey, you might be fine enough. You might feel like if you find the right thing, you can survive and figure this all out and life will feel better. Things might be okay. You can survive this way. But there is so much more available. You can feel big enough to deal with whatever life throws your way. Like I had a couple days of being like, whoo, I need to find my feet, at the beginning of this. Because I moved the day they closed schools. They closed schools, my movers left at 2, and I got a call 5 minutes later saying that schools were closed. So I woke up in one life and went to bed in a totally different one that day. And I needed a few days to like get my feet. But I feel like I'm thriving right now. Like I didn't have this like, oh, what are we gonna do? And is the economy gonna shut down? And oh my god, my family, will we all die? Like I didn't have that panic that like surged through almost everyone because I just knew this shit is good for us. I was like, yes, this is massive upheaval. This is a breakthrough. We are rupturing some shit because I've seen it in my own life in the past 4 years so many times. Anytime shit has gotten hard or like plans have fallen through or something bad has happened, like the fruit of getting through that has been sweet every single time. So I trust these hard times. And that's not just resiliency, it's like just deep bone knowing that like rupture happens for us. And I'm all the way fucking in. And thank God I had just signed up for support like 4 weeks before this happened. I signed up for like a 2 or 3 month program. And so I knew like I had the support I needed. I was like, I'm going to figure this shit out. I am not going to sit here and swim around and like, well, what's going to happen to me? Like, yes, I had a couple nights of that. And I just had a good first date with someone and had to like tell him, I was like, look, I can't have getting to know someone new on my plate right now. I just need some time to get my feet on the ground. He was super cool about it. He messaged me a couple weeks later. We're like talking every now and then, but, I've never done that before. That was new for me. Being able to be like, hey, I'm going to need this space for me so that I can create what I want out of this time. And that felt really, really good. And that was something that I needed support doing. And so that is my intention for camp. We start April 27th, so not next Monday, but the next. It's 12 weeks. Every week we have time together with a class, like our little camp class. And it is named Camp on Purpose because it's like this sisterhood bonding. Like you've never gone to camp and come home the same person, right? You get transported to this other world. You learn things about yourself. But the difference is you're not physically away from life. If anything, you are as in life as you've ever been right now. And camp will be made to do, yes, the logical mental stuff. We'll have the deep energy healing work. We'll work one-on-one together through your specific shit. And I say shit with love. I just find it's just such a good all-encompassing term. We'll do that deeper work, and you will have like homework assignments to engage you with your life. You will have to show up in the world as the person you're becoming in camp, which is amazing. I'm really excited about it because none of my other group programs have included this. It's always been about just the deep energy work. And so the fact that like we're going to have the mindset stuff, which is important. We're going to have the deep healing, and you're going to be participating in life as you go through this transformation. So many times, and I think in the old way, we had to sort of wrap ourselves up into a cocoon and transform and heal in private. But then we go back into our homes and we're like, I don't fit here anymore. No one knows me anymore. Like I'm not who I was before, and they're having a hard time navigating you. You're having a hard time navigating them. And it's like, fuck, dang it. And so I think with camp, you're going to be doing it with your family, with your life, with them home. What a better time to figure out, like, there is a way for you to have space to yourself. If you had asked me a few months ago that I could host like an hour and 15-minute long workshop with Gus at home, I would have never thought I could do it. But I knew, okay, my kid's home with me now. Moms need this work. I'm going to show the fuck up and I'm going to find a way to make this happen. And he has largely cooperated with everything. Like it has been so much easier. It's just like the dishes. Like dishes just aren't a thing anymore. Working from home with my kid is really not anything near as stressful as I would have thought. But I have support and, It's true though, like once you tap into yourself, life is just no longer that hard. The stuff that has been stressing you out, you can see it for what it is, and you can see yourself for what you are, which is fucking powerful and incredible and worthy of an amazing life, no matter what's happening outside of you. So if you are one of these people and you want to know more about camp, let's hop on a call. Let's hop on a Zoom call and we will talk. We'll do a clarity session. We'll get really clear on like what it is that you're wanting to experience in your life, how you can get there, what you feel is keeping you from that, and if and how camp can support you in that. And so I would really love to hop on the call with you. I would really love to help you clarify your vision of your life and how this time is going to be supportive of that, and tell you all about all the ways camp is going to be fucking amazing. And I need you to be ready to do whatever it takes. I only want to get on the phone with you if you are ready to dive in right now and do what it takes to do the work, to invest in yourself. And it's scary, but if not now, then when? You know, some of you, I know, like, you just lost jobs. Like, I get it. Now's not the time to invest in a program. That makes sense. Like, I'm still here for you in this space. I still have my podcast. I still have all of this free shit I'm doing. That's why I offer free stuff, is so that I can reach the people who aren't in a place where they're ready to invest. But camp is for women who are ready. And so if you feel ready, I would love, love, love to get on the phone with you and tell you more about it. Hear your questions, get you, so many comments, y'all. I'm so sorry. It's not showing me the comments until way, way later. I'm just seeing Isla's about my lipstick. Yeah, girl. When you've been in quarantine for a month and had to stop going on dates and you finally get to put makeup on, it's a red lipstick day. Yeah, let's see if there's anything else I can tell you guys about camp. Like any details of it that I forgot. It's 12 weeks. We have weekly calls that are going to be like our lessons, and they're also support calls. So you'll get group support every week. Every 3 weeks, we'll have a one-on-one energy healing deep dive. So that's going to be a 75-minute session, me and you going all the way in and all the way back out. And then I'm sending you back into your life with homework, with integration tools. And then I'm going to be there in the Facebook group, checking in, asking how you're doing, holding you accountable. If you say, I'm going to whatever, like I'm going to check in and be like, hey, you've been doing the whatever, you know, I'm your man during this and I'm on call for you. So if you need support, message me in the group. If you need more support than what I can offer in the group, I'll call you on the phone and we will figure it out, because for 3 months, I am your girl. I am here to hold the edges for you. I am here to help you find solid ground within yourself and to expand. And yeah, we're going to focus on overwhelm, but we're also focusing on relationships. We're going to talk about communication. We're going to learn practical tools for sustainable change in your life. So you'll get the practical, you'll get the deep energy work, you'll get the mindset work, you'll get the sisterhood and community that is necessary to heal and thrive, because you need to see that it's safe to be you. And that is something you can only get in a group of women who are on board with you becoming you. You need the cheerleaders. You need to heal that sisterhood wound that has you competing with everyone instead of connecting with everyone. And it's going to be tailored to whoever arrives in the group. I have 5 spots left, and we start in 2 weeks. And if you want to apply or see if it's a good fit or hear more about it, I will put a link in the comments and we will talk about, we'll get that set up. What else? And I will see you back here tomorrow, not next week. I will see you back here tomorrow to talk about relationships, to talk about intimacy, blocks to intimacy. I know we touched on that today, but we will dive way in and we will talk about, the common intimacy blocks and how to navigate them and find your way through them. And your homework for today is I will just say this one last time to like really leave you with something tangible is when you find yourself stressed, when you find yourself going into that overwhelm, that anxiety, blah, and your head is in the fucking tub or the sink, whatever I said, your job in that moment is to and you can imagine that you're pulling your head out and you're like standing up for air. You will take a breath. How am I? And what do I need? And then try and do it. Try and do it for yourself. And if you're not there yet, if you're not in the place where you're ready to like actually take action in the world on what you need, can you imagine it like coming in as energy? You know, like can you imagine little bits of golden light that are infused with it, with support or nourishment or acceptance or gentleness or compassion or fucking energy or happiness, joy, laughter, like whatever it is you want to experience, you can receive it energetically. You can drop into that experience without life actually changing. I think I have a podcast episode on that. I'll link that. This is getting long though. This is longer than I anticipated. So I will come in and check the comments and I will be in there off of the live stream. But if anyone has any questions, I am around. I am rooting for you. This is our fucking time. This is the time for it. I want to see you whole. I want to see you thrive. Not even during hard times, but especially during hard times. I love you. Sending you so much love. If I can figure out how to end this.